Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, today is June 1st. Now what does that mean? That means we've been through 6 months together, if you can believe it, of daily videos, daily uploads, monitoring the gun controlling left, their antics, their moves, how we stuffed them, and how they're being stopped. And I think it's really, really important, first of all, just to say thank you for being on this journey with me, because without you guys, we would be nothing. And I appreciate every one of you every time you view, because that is incredibly important in spreading the message and keeping the movement, or for the Second Amendment, going in the positive direction. Now, what we're going to talk about today is where we've been over the past 6 months, the first 6 months of the Biden administration, and where we're going, because there's been a pretty clear delineation around May and June, and it's going to be important to see where we've been to where we're going. And that's what this video is all about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and let's get going. Okay, so a quick review and recap of what's happened so far in 2021 on the gun control front. Of course, the Biden administration came in and they were promising all sorts of things in the earlier months of the administration about gun control and doing something about gun control. And we lived with a lot of very crazy out-of-the-box ideas coming from the far left in Congress. Particularly, we had a lot of gun confiscation bills, we had gun registration bills, we had ammo ban bills, none of which really made any traction, and we talked about that on this channel. However, there were 2 bills that came out in the earlier part of the year, H.R. 8 and 1446. Now keep in mind, this time was about February to March, so they were still riding the wave of we're brand new at this, we're going to make the difference, hoorah, right? Those got stuffed in the Senate, which we covered extensively that we thought it was going to happen like that, and you guys know because we've been on the cutting edge, right? We were talking about that for a very long time. Well, then it got stuffed. Then you've got Feinstein, who came out with a Senate bill, who starts going into a full-on assault weapons bans. Assault weapons, right? Also got stuffed. So far, we're looking pretty good in February and March of 2021. We start going forward, and it starts to change. You start to get a little bit more pressure from the media. You start to get different articles, all of which we covered, but then it starts to change direction and tone. Now, then they started to go backhanded kind of things. So they started to do things like the PLCAA, which is basically gun manufacturers cannot be immune from liability from someone using their product in a nefarious way. That was introduced in the House and that was introduced in the Senate, both of which died and failed, didn't happen. Now that's the actual gun bills themselves. Then we look at the filibuster. The filibuster held, the Senate is still holding to the filibuster. Manchin and Sinema did not cave. We talked about that extensively, but it's a really positive thing, right? Filibuster is still in place. Then we had talk of packing the courts come out. It was introduced in the House, and Nancy Pelosi flat out said we're not even voting on that, so that never happened either. Shortly thereafter, we're getting into like April-ish area, Biden comes out and makes 6 executive actions. Now, if you recall from this channel, we talked about executive actions being a sign of weakness, showing they don't have the power to do anything for legislatively in Congress, which is the most important part, which we covered extensively on this channel. They start doing that. The executive actions were requested, not orders, actions, right? They're basically recommendations. Shortly after that, we started to see a shift into the backhanded stuff on the ATF executive action, executive branch stuff, like the ATF judicial branch, things of that nature. Then we started to get David Chipman as the ATF director nominee from Biden. It's still pending, but it's obviously a very far left move. And that brings us to today. The Supreme Court has so far picked up a case in New York, which the left is terrified of. You've got states across the country doing pro-gun legislation that is passing. Open carry is going in all over the place. There are gun protections which basically attack any federal legislation and cut funding. Overall, the ball is moving in the positive direction for the Second Amendment movement. We talked about that exclusively on this channel. I didn't see it anywhere else, because it's something that we need to know and monitor, and that's why it's important, because we're making a difference. So far in June, up and through June and the first part of 2021, the exact half, we're making amazing progress, so don't give up, keep going. We got a long road ahead of us, but we're gonna do it, and I will always bring you the best news that I can, as best as I can bring it, as accurate as I can, as fast as I can, because this is important to get this stuff out. And you guys sharing it makes a big difference. But that's where we've been. Now, we're starting to see a different chapter. The second half of 2021 is the gun control debate is going to be a lot more nuanced. We're starting to already see it, and we've covered it on this channel. Everywhere you look, gun violence is referred to as a health crisis, as an epidemic. That is the new language. It is no longer about assault weapons and common sense gun reform. It's going into, this is the health epidemic zone. That's where they've been going. That's where they're going to continue to go. You look in Colorado, they're starting brand new divisions of the government, which are all focused on public health and it's gun-related stuff. So they're going in that direction. Even the highest level DOJ, like Merrick Garland, is talking about it from a health perspective. The anti-gun Giffords.org, Everytown USA, all of these anti-gun groups are all talking in unison about the epidemic of gun violence in the United States. It's going health. That's what they're doing, and we're going to continue covering that. But this fight is changing, and it's evolving, and it's becoming ever so much more subtle. But it's incredibly important we stay on it, and on this channel we absolutely will, because we've got a mission, people, and we're going to pass on the Second Amendment to the next generation. We're on them, we're watching it. The fight is becoming more nuanced, but it's nowhere near over. And thank you again for you guys being here. That's so far what we've done in 2021 together and where we've been, and I can't wait to spend the second half of 2021 fighting right alongside you guys, and I cannot wait. There's some amazing things coming from this channel, which is going to further the fight and get you guys what you need. Some great stuff, so stay tuned. Again, thank you. I'm Braden. See you later.